And we're live. Yeah, everybody. What's up? What's good? How we doing? Say what up in the chat if you're tuning in. I don't know if numbers, if anyone is yet, but welcome back to another episode of Behind the Avatar. Catching the replay. Make sure you hit that like button, that subscribe button, all those different things. Leave a comment below about somebody maybe you want to see on the next show, or just something you enjoy about the show, or maybe you want to see different. I definitely will read all of them because there's like no comments usually. I'll see them. So let me know. And if you're live, obviously, say what up in the chat. Ask any questions, have any along the way, and I will try to get break in action. But without further ado, I'd like to introduce the man of the hour, Fred and Ferd. I don't I don't know how to introduce it. I don't know what the name is. So let's start by that. Like, just a brief introduction. Go for
play the Amazon's new MMO called New World, and we were going to like role play it for fun. So I came up with this backstory about Frederick and Ferdinand, how they were like dudes in 1500. It's like 1600 London when
Okay.
there was like a big fire and half the city burned down. But anyway,
I
so
feel
we
like
built
I
this whole
recall that. Yeah.
Yeah, I came across it when I was like making the backstory for Frederick and Ferdinand. So I was like, well, that's convenient, you know.
Yeah.
Terrible event, but convenient for my backstory.
Hmm.
Uh but yeah, so anyway, we did that, and then like we didn't really do that very long. But I had this backstory and stuff, and this channel with the name Fred and Ferd on it, or Frederick and Ferdinand, and I shortened it to Fred and Ferd later, and I don't know, the name just kind of stuck
Yeah. Yeah. No, I like
because
it.
it was like already on the channel, and
Yeah. I mean, that a lot of times that's kind of where names come from. Like Crafter, I don't know.
yeah,
I don't know where that came from. Really, it just like kind of like popped in my head one day, and I was like, I could fuck with that. Like, I think like there was like some inspiration probably drawn from. I used to pay a lot of attention. I don't more to legends. And like I just like kind of like some of the gamer their names short and snappy like that. And my name, I mean, I could go by Billy. But like I don't know, there's just something about it. And then everyone else had like these anonymous names. And I was like, okay, like I'll create an anonymous profile and then be on screen all the time. So yeah, it's funny how a lot of us have kind of crafted uh, almost like
yeah,
alter ego, if you will, but maybe more
it
so
kind of
just
is.
like all kind of an alter ego, but maybe more so like your authentic self a little bit, which is kind of cool. That it allows people their new
I,
created ego.
yeah, um, I mean, I haven't. Well, my friend got me into playing D&D not too long ago. It was probably around the start of COVID. Not too long ago I was playing. But yeah, that was a totally different experience. So
Yeah,
um
I bet. I've always been interested. I've never played. I've always like known about it and known like I understand it kind of. I'm sure there's
yeah.
a lot of intricacies I don't understand, but
No,
it,
like
it's always
we're
been
we're starting up this D&D group where we're just going to do one shots. So I'm going to do the first week, and it's a popular one shot role play where you are a bunch of bears, and you go to a bear event or like a honey event, and there's like so you're trying to steal the prize. It's like all the honey,
okay.
and so you have to set up all your characters, and you can like pretend you're a human and like act more bear. So
And what does one chat mean? Am I is that what I'm hearing? One chat
one chat.
or what were you, yeah.
Oh, like the one
One
shot role
shot.
play where you can do
Yeah.
it in one night instead of
Oh,
doing
okay.
it for
Okay,
like
okay.
Half Dork does D&D, where it's like they build on the story every episode.
Oh, okay,
That
okay.
this thing is like a bunch of people could show up and probably do it in one night, and it would all be over.
Oh, that's cool. So it's like a game night, but not like a game life. like I was
Yeah,
watching.
it's not like a season. It's not like you have to devote like softball season.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool. I like that. That's awesome. I would fuck around and do just if I liked it. Never done anything like that. Um,
It's funny that Ice Pilot's here because he made me. One time I was
oh, what's up, Ice
watching
Pilot?
when we were in Underground Master. Him and Roxy were joking about my wall, and they're calling it the half gray, half green wall or screen. Oh man, I laughed really hard.
What is going on with your wall?
Oh yeah, like I used to have a different setup, and I tried to set up a green screen with duct tape.
Okay.
It doesn't work. Too
No.
shiny. FYI.
Okay. That's hey,
So
good to
don't
know.
try
I
it.
was thinking about
Yeah.
getting a green screen because I just
Don't
like
use green duct tape. Doesn't work.
good to know. Noted.
uh,
That's funny. I mean
so yeah,
that's not a bad idea. Too bad it didn't work.
I'm basically like Harry Potter style here under the steps, you know. So,
Hey, whatever, wherever you got to do it
but it's
works.
comfy.
Yeah, I mean I feel like that's the most part. I have to have like I have I sit down often, but like I have to be having just like a spot where I can have my desk as long as that fits. I'm happy. It doesn't really matter what's all around me. I would like kind of like grade at some point, but we'll get there. It's like
Nah,
one step at a time.
one step at a time. Slow down.
All my focus is towards the
Just get like a
screens.
just get like a light that changes colors. You and set it behind you. That's
Yeah,
all you need.
yeah. There you go. That's valid. Uh, by the way, shout out chat. What's up, Vox, Waypax, or Ralph Pax, or Ralph? I think maybe that would be fun to call you if that's cool. For some reason that sticks in my head. Um, wait for his rap. Wait, who's rap?
I can't rap.
You can't
I'm
rap?
not even close to a rapper. No.
Oh, yeah, me neither. I do like rap, but I don't. So I forget
Yeah.
where we
What are we
were.
talking about?
Oh, we were talking about D&D,
Yeah, yeah.
which I think is
You should try it
a green topic.
sometime.
I think I definitely will. I watched um a documentary probably on Fire, some like channel that shows documentaries like that on YouTube, and I don't know what you call it, but this was overview like a biography about a guy that had going on for his entire life thing or something, and it's just adding new guy like bringing in Kyle. Um, it was just I was like, this is the craziest thing I've ever seen, but I love how passionate you are about. Like, I could not believe that whole life was good, but at the same time, I was like, he fucking loves it. That's cool, and he's like really enjoying his life. So props to him. So yeah, I was like, it's just kind of cool, and it like kind of showed me more. He did it with oh, the Dungeons and Dragons. Did it with like figurines around a board, but like talked about talked out like with dice and stuff. Um, you weren't allowed to touch whatever they're.
He was the DM. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. He was definitely master. um, but yeah, it was
But
fun.
yeah, that's crazy. That's like staying friends with like your childhood friend for your whole life, you know.
Yeah,
Not many people do that.
yeah. Not
But
really.
like just role playing's fun because if the DM agrees to it, then or the GM agrees to it, then it's like it's possible. You know, that's why people like doing it because it's like it's all whatever you can think up rather than the mechanics of a game mostly.
Yeah, that is cool. Like,
I think.
yeah, there's that like possible.
Yeah.
Um, and I think that's why I'm to segue kind of over to what I want to really chat about with metaverse has a lot of those like characteristics that basically do whatever you want here. There's gonna be so many different things, platforms that are like considered the metaverse, and like whatever you find something. And I just think that it's also like terrifying that at the same time. Like there's also like parts of me that don't know how I feel about it, but I'm here for it at the same time. And I'm curious. Or first, I want to start talking about what I'm just talking about, or you can kind of start and tell how you got into where you're at right now.
Yeah. I definitely don't really have a traditional story. I think like it was once again fueled by just like having a basement job where I really can just do all my work really fast and then I'm just sitting here. And it's like I was looking for something to do. And NFT, you know, blockchain gaming was a craze at the time. And it's like, hey, I used to be a gamer and I have some time to play some games.
Yeah,
You know, I was like, maybe I could make like an angle on this and maybe make some content about is it play to earn or is it pay to earn?
uh huh.
Which is pretty corny, but
Hey,
that was my whole angle.
yeah. I mean,
So
it's valid too. there's there's definitely both sides of that here. Um,
yeah. So I just like started dipping my toe in actual tangible products that you could play. You know, like not like a Star Atlas, not like a Illuvium,
yeah,
things like that actually existed. So I played a lot of Blancos because
yeah,
that's pretty fun.
yeah.
That's pretty fun.
I played a little
But
bit of that. It is.
but I think Blancos is a good example of how NFTs can go wrong really quickly because it's like you get a really powerful NFT and it's like you can just raffle stomp people. And then it's like, how do I nerf someone's NFT? Like that just
Yeah,
tastes bad. That just
yeah,
tastes bad. So Blancos turns into like this slide down a hill, collect stuff. So I kind of lose my interest in Blancos.
yeah.
And Decentralands is also pretty fun. But like, I don't know.
How much
To,
have you like how much time have you spent and how on what timeline? I need to start learning it.
I used to go into Decentraland like every day and
Yeah.
grind out the Wonder Mine and
Yeah. Yeah.
Grind out Golfcraft. Golfcraft is where I got my first NFT because I was
Nice.
on this mission to not spend any money and I wanted to get NFTs for free.
Yeah.
You know, whatever. It's like when I even won your NFT, right?
Uh-huh.
I didn't even, and it's just a little poly to unlock it. I
Right.
didn't even have any gas to unlock that. I
Ah,
didn't have any gas in my account because I was just taking a different approach the whole time.
yeah. No, that makes sense. That's kind of a cool approach. I mean, because we're definitely early enough that there will be things you can get for free that are going to be valuable. The timing of everything matters. Like starting from scratch 20 years from now, it'll probably be tougher.
Oh yeah.
It'll just take longer, um, mainly to start from scratch and where you are. But like right now, you a lot of stuff. worth some. Obviously, there's also going to be a lot of stuff like that, but there will be
And
all the time.
yeah, and the Sandbox is one of the early projects I found too that I mean, I played around in the game maker for a little bit, but I was like, eh, at the
Yeah,
very best. The first time I was not very impressed with the Sandbox. I promise you that.
yeah. I
And
I
it's all documented because my friend, like Frederick and Ferdinand, I'm Frederick, he's Ferdinand, he's Faded Pain. He has a Twitch channel and stuff, but
okay,
he did a
cool,
podcast called The Pain Cast, and we have conversations like probably weekly or stuff. They're probably still up on Spotify, but
nice.
where I don't want to say I was bearish, but like I would probably, if you'd listen back to them, I'd say things like, I just don't think it's fun. Like, I don't think that people are going to play it. Like, why would you do this rather than go play something else that's fun?
Yeah, honestly, I felt the same way for a long time until I started seeing like and got turned, but like the longest time, I just don't fun enough. And to be honest, parents sometimes I feel that way still by a lot of the like, are people really gonna or bad that the people are hoping is gonna take off? So the people here right now are hoping that they're most of the time it's like is why you're playing thing. There needs to, my opinion, my humble, there needs to be much on like gaming, like getting enough traction away from really good that are already established out there. But I think it's um, that's
Well,
kind of my stance, and
yeah.
and
I
I see it happening. Definitely, people.
Yeah. I mean, at this point, I was on an island, and that was before I'd even tried to become a member of the Twitch community and become educated. And, everybody that is actually on the leading edge of Game Maker and Vox Edit and stuff. So, and also, I have a 5-year-old who has a tablet and plays Roblox,
Yeah,
has access to Roblox, and I have to be there with him most of the time, obviously. And like you see the traffic that goes through some of these Roblox experiences. So I'm not really worried about the traffic. You just have to get the traffic there. So I think what I've settled on is the Sandbox is one of the OG titans of Web3 that I don't think is going anywhere anytime soon. And
oh
like
yeah,
you
yeah.
can, it's easily going to be a Roblox type engine, if not better. I
It,
think.
yeah, 100%. I think that's valid, and that's kind of how I started assessing it. Is like, okay, like just because it isn't really my thing, as far as the is somebody's, and a lot of people. So like the ones that I don't enjoy, there are a lot of people that probably, um, and like you said, they are in my opinion one of the best staying power over the long run. Um,
The Sandbox and like Decentraland stuff are interesting because you're trapped in such a small area.
yeah,
I've never messed with Decentraland, but in the Sandbox you do get a big area. Don't get me wrong, but those pieces of land aren't they aren't cheap, and especially if you need like 4 of them matched up against each other in the same spot.
yeah,
I don't think that's going to be very cheap.
dude,
So
that's so true. And I don't know what's gonna happen with that. To be honest, like the, it's like, is the market gonna adjust for that, or is the land always gonna be high, and it's gonna be more of a renter's philosophy? That sucks. Um,
Time will tell, I guess.
yeah, but it's like okay, so real estate really just migrated over to the metaverse first, and
Yeah.
and everything else is getting built on top of that. Good on everyone who's here and scooped up all the land, but um, it does suck when it's like yeah, like when you want like a four right next to each other, like find four market
Yeah.
that are next to each other, and then got a prices that you see like sometimes they're just like stupid prices like 420 and 9, and other times they're I think am I cutting anything out?
I hear you just fine.
Okay, good. Um, yeah, I'll try moving it closer. It isn't. It does seem like on my end it's picking up on it. Whatever. Um, I'm not gonna be able to troubleshoot it live anyways. So rolling. Hopefully, being closer helps or something. Um, fuck. I
But
forgot
yeah,
where we were.
like, so I mean, just things I think about, I guess. But at the very least, if there's a lot of eyeballs on the sandbox in the future, you're going to need game makers that can build a lot of bang for your buck in a one by one from top to bottom. So
Yeah, yeah,
get to learn in game maker is my advice
yeah.
if you want to be in the sandbox.
100%. That's very true. How long have you been building in box then? Like when went from being skeptical, that's the word you want to use, to interested.
Yeah, so that's a good question. I guess
Yeah.
December of, I don't even know what it is anymore, 21,
It's so easy to get those mixed.
so yeah. But the same amount of time Halfdork's been doing Game Maker I have, but
Uh-huh.
I wasn't like part of the community the whole time.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I remember you saying that. And that makes sense. I mean, uh, about that time is when it seemed like there was definitely eyes on what was being put out there.
It was
Um
when eyes were on everything.
yeah, and it's like okay,
It was
like
when Zuckerberg changed his business to Meta.
uh-huh. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um,
That
all
makes
that
total
shit.
sense. And that's like I'm sure there's tons more views out there that like just like really started picking up steam like kind of um uh,
Yeah.
timeline, which is would only make sense. And that's cool. So
And so I was, going back to trying to figure out how to make money in this ecosystem without actually putting money into NFTs. And game jams, like, okay, that's an easy way to make money,
yeah, yeah.
So I started working on doing game jams because, you know, it was right after the Walking Dead one where everybody got a participation award. And I was like, I just missed out on 100 sand. So I was like,
Yep.
when are they going to do that again? And that was the Poro one. Gosh, I can't even remember all of them. It was like round 21,
There was so many of them.
Poro, like, yeah, Alpha 2. There was like a not a relaxation game, but like a whatever. There was a lot of game jams, bam, 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 bam,
Yeah.
and I participated in a lot of them. It burned me out.
I was gonna say that I had that feeling, which is why I didn't even I like turned off even like the thought of like participating in them because I mean I was focused on building other things, and I was just like I feel like if I go down that rabbit hole I'm just gonna get sucked in and try and do every single one, and I'm gonna burn myself out because I have a tendency of doing that. And so I can only imagine um why, why that would have
I
burned you
enjoyed
out.
it so much because like once I finally worked with Game Maker enough to basically bang my head against the wall enough times to understand the logic.
Yeah.
Um, you get over the curve where the curve lessens because you worked on it for so long.
Yeah, totally.
Um,
No, that's I mean,
I'm
it's a great way to learn
I've
for
been
sure.
I mean I've sat and watched like a Cyber Dragon video 10 times in a row before, you
Same,
know,
same. I've been there.
just like a little bit, like
Yeah, they're like, "Well, okay, figure this out," then keep redoing it, and no, that's and people like Cyber Dragon are godsend. Like, thank you for all the great information out there, because without it, like me, um struggling, because like my go-to to research anything, particularly, well, I mean, there's multiple different places, but like if it's anything that I think would be a YouTube video, I go to YouTube. That's like one of my go-to ways of first like figuring something out. And once you find a few people that realize know what the hell they're talking about and you trust, like, go back to their learning from them. That's like the name of the game. If
it's tough in the sandbox because it always changes so much.
yeah, yeah,
But yeah,
that's
in the
true.
Sandbox Discord, there's a Cyber Dragon. It's like the whatever Game Maker Academy or something.
uh
And there's like 15 Cyber Dragon videos. But yeah, if that's where I would start.
yeah, I feel like there's a lot Sandbox Discord. Like I honestly haven't very much time in the Sandbox Discord, because I feel like I was learning about the Sandbox before like being a thing. So like like by the time they like had their Discord out there and it was popping, like I was overloaded with Discords and venture into that one. But I always hear that there's really cool stuff in there. So like that's
I'm
that's
in the Game
that's
Maker chat in the Game Jam chat. The Game
yeah.
Maker chat is pretty nice. They'll answer your questions.
Yeah. I think that's
I
great.
think the biggest thing in Discord is use the search function first. You
Mm-hmm.
know,
Yeah. It probably is a wealth of knowledge if you go there and search things. Obviously, cipher through things that is true, and saying stuff that people
but
are,
yeah,
are talking
it's a
about.
good place to start.
But yeah, it is start. Um, but I think there's also, luckily, um for the awesome um content creators, a lot of good videos out there. But like you said, stuff to keep up with, updating about new. So I feel like there is like doesn't even relevant anymore. But
Hmm.
that's just how it goes. Gotta keep somebody else will come along and make. That's cool. Are you streaming much, or what's your approach to that, or I guess because I honestly don't to to very much like closely, so like I don't really
No,
have
no.
time to like be watching Twitches and stuff, so I never know. I know that some people, like, I'll recognize some
It's
names, but do you stream much, or what have you been doing lately?
it's hard to watch everybody that you want to watch because
Yeah.
I have a real job too,
Yeah, exactly.
but like, and I mean, I try to keep it on in the background too, but um, I originally started streaming because going back to like I was burnt out on Game Maker, but I didn't want to give up on the sandbox. And I think when I started streaming, like myself on Game Maker, that's really what took me to the next level because you know it's not like the easiest thing to hear criticism and feedback, but
Yeah.
it's essential.
Yeah,
And like Twitch amplifies it to the 10th degree, It's like
yeah.
if you hop on Twitch, it's like instead of you being a student like in a classroom and the teacher, it's like a bunch of teachers watching the student, That's what Twitch is.
Yeah,
So especially when you're working on like Game Maker or Vox Edit. And
totally.
sometimes I find myself doing that and I try not to, but
I mean, it's helpful though.
especially and I was asking for it.
I was gonna say
Don't get me
I
wrong.
asked for it as
People the
well.
Sandbox fam doesn't just like you're doing it wrong. They don't do that. But like I was asking for it. So
It blows my mind how beneficial that is though, because like every time I would stream, I would learn something new easily from somebody just typing stuff in the chat. Like, no, 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 don't do it that way. Like, change this logic and update this and whatnot. And it's like, oh, okay, that makes sense. And now I can replicate that, and now I learned a new skill. So like, it's a cool way to learn. I never would have expected it to be like that. To be honest, I didn't do
Yeah.
like a whole lot of streaming either. But like,
So it started like that. Vivox was one of the first people that popped in.
mm-hmm,
And then I
is awesome.
started, yeah. And then I found Half Dork and, started watching Panda and started watching K, OG,
Yep.
little fam.
The homies. I
And
see you guys in the chat too, by the way.
Noodle, I hope Noodle starts streaming again. He moved into a bus in the middle of nowhere. Hope he's doing okay.
Oh, is that what happened? I was wondering. I haven't seen it pop up.
Yeah, dude.
That's awesome though.
He's, yeah, living out in the middle of nowhere. I hope he's okay.
Dude, I wanna talk to him when he comes back online.
Yeah, get him. Can you imagine with like the background of the bus?
Oh, that would be awesome. I At one point in my life, me and my wife have done a lot of things. We didn't do this all the way through, but at one point we bought a bus. We lived in Minneapolis, Minnesota. And we drove all the way down to Iowa, bought this bus, and drove it back. Barely got it back. The brakes started giving out on the way that we got back. By the time we got back, but got it back, and we were gonna like remodel it and turn it into like a tiny home on wheels kind of thing. Um, and we started on it, but we did not finish. Kind of, we're like, okay, maybe this isn't exactly what we want to be doing, because like we kept like the more we started thinking about it, and I feel like we maybe would have enjoyed it, but um, that just like reminded me of a story. I haven't thought about that, but
You're gonna drive across the country.
yeah, yeah, that was exactly our thoughts, and it would have been fun, but I don't think it would have lasted very long, knowing us, and been a lot of money invested in us that, I mean, we probably could have turned around and sold but I don't know. We just ended up not doing it. We talked ourselves out of that one,
There's
but
always time
yeah,
later,
yeah, exactly, exactly.
Put it on the bucket list.
That's so true. I do. That's on my short term bucket list. Is get a. I don't want like as big of a thing, but like a van that take on like extended trips around the U.S., but not like out of on some. We like to like hiking. That's on our short term. Hopefully that comes to fruition. I can take you guys on that event. But anyways, what the hell were we talking about before I got
Crafter, we were talking about crafter across the US.
yes. Hey, that would be a fun little vlog.
We were
you,
talking
you
about the
guys,
sandbox, I think, at one point.
yeah, we definitely probably were talking about the Sandbox. That's typically where things go. Um, I
But
I'm Yeah,
yeah, go
go.
ahead.
No, you go. This is your
I was
show.
just gonna say, but generally I landed on the sandbox because I actually could just build and play to earn. And after playing in Alpha 2 and them just giving us a bunch of sand for playing Alpha 2, I was like, I love the sandbox. And like
Yeah,
there's Alex and Joe and Panda and Vpire and all these people that work for the sandbox that are like, taking bullets left and right,
yeah,
for the community. And it's just like, wow, there's really just, some passion behind it. And it's all, public and out there. And I think that's cool. The sandbox tries really, really hard to, you know,
yeah.
to do stuff, I
Totally.
think.
I agree. I think it's definitely one of the most impressive projects out there right now. Um, as far as like doing
You just have
stuff.
to get experiences up over the hump.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's hard because
It
that takes like teams. I mean, you think of good games. I mean, it's not 4 people putting them together, you
Right,
know?
right, right. No, yeah, it's still like, and that's fine. I think they're doing a great job. Well, I'm
And some of these experiences are amazing.
totally, totally. Is there
It's really it's fun to do Game Maker because the logic is unexplored. So a lot of the stuff that you're doing, it's like, oh, I never thought about it like that, or wow, you could do that like that. And there's so much unknown to like general people too. Like there's still a lot of stuff that I don't even know how they're doing it, you know.
yeah, no, I mean, I see stuff all the time where I'm like, doing that, and like you never know, but I mean, sometimes you can figure it out, obviously, but if you think about it, but it's crazy, like you're saying, how
I want to see like how
everything is
somebody sets up a huge scoreboard that goes to like thousands of points. I would love to somebody to walk me through that.
a
How
scoreboard.
much
Yeah,
logic does that take?
yeah, I've thought the same thing because scoreboards are cool, but like, how do you
If
do
it's
it?
like counting up by 10 and it goes to 1,000, how are you doing that? Can you show me, please?
Yeah. What game did I just see that was doing that? I think Joseph tweeted about he was gonna play it on. I bet you I could find it.
It was like
Um,
one where there's the last one I saw that had a big scoreboard was
it was like a Guitar
there was a
Hero game.
spider was shooting around the spider web.
Uh, oh, I think I know what you're talking about. That one did have except for I want to show it because it's a game. Are you speaking of games? Are you working on any games right now, or what? Are you just kind of like,
Luckily, luckily I'm taking like a little breather.
yeah?
Me and Roxy did the Warner Music Game Jam
Oh,
because
nice.
yeah,
Is
because I
that
came across this little propulsion technique in Game Maker that like makes you go really fast without doing anything. And
interesting?
yeah, you just put like I use the pole asset. You grab the pole, you put it at negative 1y, negative 1.35z, and that drops the pole right in the middle of the avatar when you pick it up, right?
Uh-huh.
So then you take a number pad and you put it like right where the butt of the avatar is on the pole.
Okay.
And if you do that and parent it to the pole, it puts that collision right on the back side of like the collision box of the avatar. Boom. Takes off like a jet engine. Not
I
necessarily a jet engine.
still,
It's like we call it a hoverboard in our game.
that's dope. I'll have to play that. Is it in the I'm assuming it has to be, right? If it's
Yeah,
game.
it's like page 14 or 15.
Nice.
Hoverboard Hero.
Okay, we need I'll have to
It's
that.
got custom art on it.
Um
Hoverboard Hero Dux's Diamond Dash.
Board Hero. Dux's that I remember seeing Ducks. That's
Dux's
Roxy's.
Diamond Dash.
Roxy's
Yeah, we used Roxy's Ducks for the game.
nice. Shout out Roxy. I think I saw you in chat. Yeah, I did. What's up, Roxy? I'm gonna drop not necessarily a link, but I don't know, some details about the game below. I'll do some later on, and if you guys are catching the replay, figure out where to play his game, and or well, want to test out like this one is the one I was talking about, and it's also for not to show somebody else's game, and but for the same competition. Hopefully yours wins. But
Oh, dude, no worries.
this has or you're not gonna be able. Dang it. Everyone else will, but not you. Okay, I'm gonna play it for them.
I
Then
have Twitch up.
oh, you do? Okay, perfect. Whoa. I don't want them, but yeah, like this has the scoreboard in the background. Very seeing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. This game too. Yeah, the one that just came out for the Warner Game Jam. Yeah, very impressed by this game.
Yeah,
And yeah, he tweeted with a little glimpse of his logic. He used numpads, and yeah, there was a shit ton of them.
I bet. This is such a clean game though. Like
It works really well because it's like it's not confusing at all. It's like an app.
I was gonna say, it's cool that you can do like app style game on here. Really need mind to it. About how to,
Absolutely.
yeah, crazy, crazy what you example of. Like you said, like simple but fun. Like I could see to that and wanting to play, especially like
Yeah.
as like more capable come along. You'd have like artists with their own their own, or they could give whoever made the pick, but or they could create their own play along. Kind of cool. There's all kinds of
Or
possibilities.
yeah. Or more likely, a singer will ask a game maker to make an experience like that for them.
Yeah, yeah, 100%. Why be learning game not already? Even just a little along.
Yeah. Originally, like before I even knew about the Sandbox white paper, even thought about it or anything, like the potential I saw in the Sandbox was like a 3D website. Imagine like Web3 not being like a metaverse, but instead just being a place where normal people could go on the web in 3D, you know?
Hmm.
And like instead of, looking at a flat thing, they could look at something you build in the Sandbox, for example, with links and stuff all over the place. Like that's the vision I had for why I thought the Sandbox had so much potential early on. And I think like that's still possible with QR codes and
Yeah.
YouTube videos, and that's not far off.
No, it's
Um,
not. And I think it's a great place for that because it's so the entry level is so low as far as like this to acquire. Um, Obviously not easy, great stuff, but start learning and for yourself like that if you're bring that or whatever together. Cool, it's cool that fairly easy.
but yeah, I don't think it'll be used for that so much though, because the land is gated by NFTs. Like
Yeah,
it's too expensive to do something like that, probably.
yeah.
But
Is
I don't know. There'll be lots of use cases in the Sandbox, I guess.
there's it,
It'll be interesting to see if you can access it from a web browser or if you have to use a client. Because a
yeah.
lot of normal people will just want to go to a website like Decentraland,
Uh-huh.
where you can just access it from the internet. But it's
It,
also going to be mobile.
I
So
was
it's
gonna say
like,
like it's gonna be mobile. Definitely said that. So it seems like probably browser based. I don't know. Hopefully, because yeah, like you're saying, I feel like that would gain a lot more traction if browser. But who knows? Maybe there'll be different versions of it eventually, or something like you can say a light version on the browser. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know enough about the actual like specs and stuff behind that far out.
but like a long time ago, you asked me about streaming.
Yeah.
And so, like, so to get back to that, I don't really stream very much anymore. I hit affiliate, and it's like, that's weird. I feel like very self aware when I'm streaming. I feel like the creativity's kind of turned off a little bit
Yeah.
when I'm just like sitting by myself, just like thinking about how I could manipulate Game Maker.
Yeah.
But I do like streaming when I have a plan. Like streaming for the Underground Master was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I was gonna say, how was your experience with that? I know you talked a little about it on their recap show. If you haven't seen the recap show, I'll post it below if it's on whatever. Here it is. But how was your experience with that? And definitely seemed like if anyone watched it, you'll probably understand. Watched both of us, but it seemed like you definitely came into each um plan, whereas I opposite approach. And that's how I always build. So like I didn't think to like tweak how I approach things, but like it it was tough to have to do it because like you said, one, I do feel the same way. Like it's a little harder to be creative. Um, way, but like have that like, oh, I should probably do something instead of just a lot of times while of just like at a problem where I figure out what to do. Yeah, like
A lot
how.
of the time I wake up and I realize it, or I'll like have an idea when I wake up.
Yeah, no.
That's how it was in the early days when I was trying to understand Game Maker for the first time. It's not so much anymore because I can just kind of
Yeet.
conceptualize it better, but that's how it was in the early days.
Yeah. I forget that I got so distracted. I forget that you probably can't hear it. But Gold just um
Oh yeah,
um
no, I have it muted so it doesn't mess me up.
I, I probably I should I'll let you know by repeating whatever whatever sounds get played because they always crack me up. God damn it, now we got
Yeet.
big weight off of that, but
I have
it's
the
all good.
sound effects on my stream that people can play for free, so I do enjoy that.
Yeah, it is fun.
So
It is fun. Oh, Um, but I forgot. I know we were kind of talking about the Underground Master, but
my experience with the Underground Master, it's like I just came off Ragnarok, and like we were talking about earlier, it's like it's easy to get burnt out, and like I overdo it with logic sometimes, and I just totally overdid it with Ragnarok logic, and uh, and then Bruno asked me to be on the Underground Master, and it was right after that, and I was like, oh man, I don't know if I want to do this.
dude, I felt that I was kind of getting burnt out around that same time. It kind of
Yeah.
honestly rejuvenated. Go on.
So I was like, oh man. But I didn't want to pass up the opportunity because I just wanted a W so bad in the sandbox.
Yeah.
Like I've
Well,
been trying for a long time to win something in the sandbox, like making something in Game Maker.
yeah. Well,
And the
you
Underground
fucking
Master was the
did it.
first one that gave it to me. Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
Outer gave it to me. Yeah.
Yeah, you guys did great. I mean, we all did great, um, but I was impressed because I had never really heard of either. Um, which is awesome. I I love finding new talent. I feel like I find new talented artists every day. But like it was just inspiring to everyone was which is why I think the map turned out the way we're all kind of off of someone else's. Um and I think too, could be wrong. I haven't talked to everyone, but I think too a lot of us were kind of little like burnt out at the stage that this was happening, but we all like kind of went through it together and
Well, the Underground Master was perfect actually because I was overthinking at the beginning, like I always do. Like I
uh
can overdo this logic and make it super awesome. And then Bruno's like, it's going to be a social hub, and
yeah.
we're like, what the fuck? All of us, all the whole everybody was like, oh. That's really dumb.
So now we can't do any of the logic we were thinking of.
So instead it turned into more of like an art project. And
Yeah.
I think that's where I like kind of played into everybody's strengths a lot better because it wasn't so much about the logic and everything. It was more about molding clay and stuff. And
Yeah.
it was cool to see that because, you know,
It was cool because
you
like
need everybody to make things work.
uh-huh.
And I think the Underground Master is a good example of that.
Totally. That's great.
But yeah, the Underground Master was just me needing a W, so I like tried really hard. But like it gave me an opportunity to do that because like me and Roxy took this different approach than everybody else where we're like, we're gonna be super prepared and know exactly what we want to do when we go in. And I think it's just gonna like really pay off in the end. And so yeah, I did practice like doing things a couple times before. And like you say, I like to do that too. I like to poke something until it's done.
Yep.
I don't like to not work on something for a long time. And
Same.
that's what the Underground Master was. So I was doing that to myself. Like I was poking it the whole time, but it wasn't actually getting done. Like I had to do it again
Right.
after I had practiced it.
But that's
So it was cool.
yeah, and that I mean that's a great way to learn the concepts and stuff that you applied. Like I'm sure those will stay for a long ever
Well, I already
probably.
I already had a good I mean, I already knew how to do all that stuff.
Yeah.
I was trying to make it so it worked in a social hub no matter what.
Right, right, right.
I could have done it easier.
Which I think is important and tough is to make things work in social hubs. But like
Yeah.
social hubs are going to be a decent chunk of what happens in
Yeah,
Sandbox
people
at
want to
least.
play with their friends.
Yeah, yeah. So like figuring out how to do make things still
We'll just keep saying next version like everybody else keeps
yeah.
saying.
Yeah, exactly. Um e- eventually. Eventually it'll get to a point where hubs are a lot better. I hope. I hope. Um there's so much limit for guys that have the big brains for logic. But there is definitely out there. Don't get me wrong. See a question chat from Kay.
Shoot.
So here it comes. If
Hmm.
if you could make any game, what would you?
Ooh, this is an easy one. I'm really glad Kay asked because I would love to make a game in assets with Kay. So
Ooh.
one of like my first thoughts that the sandbox, a good use case for the sandbox over and over and over and over again could be horror.
Ah.
Because like if you watch I love watching like I don't always love doing it, but like I'll watch Markiplier and Jacksepticeye. PewDiePie doesn't put out videos anymore, but these
Mm,
guys like they play the horror games. And like these games are a dime a dozen. They just come out and they're just looking for these jump scares.
yeah.
And I think the sandbox would be really good at telling horror stories.
I think you're right. I've never really
And I
thought
don't think
about
the
it, but
mechanics are that I don't think the mechanics would even be that complicated. And especially with the lighting mechanic, I think that's what I'm most excited for
the
is the
lighting,
lighting for horror.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
That'll be great for like a horror scene.
Yeah.
Dude,
So,
no, and yeah, I agree. It doesn't seem like it would take that much logic to do horror stuff. I feel like you could probably figure out a cool way to do horror social hubs where people can like go through it together and and get scared to
yeah.
get together. Um,
But yeah, like people are watching Netflix and people are watching sports and like I'm watching Markiplier and Jacksepticeye play horror games.
uh-huh.
So it's
Yeah.
just something I enjoy to read. I
And that
love I love horror games.
I
I don't
I
necessarily love playing them as much as I love watching people go through them.
I was gonna say I'm more of it is and it's fun to watch. It is fun to play too, but I'm so like I don't really like horror movies. Like it just like, but at the same time, I'm kind of drawn to it a little bit. So, one of my memories of a game, BioShock. BioShock was scary. Did you ever play BioShock?
Yeah.
I thought it was scary. I don't know. I don't know if it was meant to be like a horror style game, but I remember it being scary.
Oh, no.
I remember I was
I
gonna
played
talk.
Resident Evil 2 on N64 as a kid. I thought that was pretty fucking scary.
Yeah, yeah, those games I wouldn't play those. I would watch them. Man, let's bring back horror. I didn't realize how many games I would play slash watch that were horror. But
But like, I think in a one by one, you could make quite a few jump scares, and I think that would be pretty fun.
yeah, I agree. I want to see it done. So go ahead, you two.
Okay,
Knock
yeah,
it out.
I'll get right on it.
Yeah, that's.
I'll work with ChatGPT, come up with a story for you, no problem.
I was gonna say. I hope people realize that that's something that can easily be done right now, which is crazy. I've been messing around with ChatGPT. It's pretty wild. Um, Pretty wild. It also like I haven't messed with it, but and I feel like it probably wouldn't know Sandbox specifically code or logic, but like you could like ask it to explain logic for certain concepts and then go apply those the Sandbox game. Here. Um, so just
I don't
FY
know. I haven't talked about logic with ChatGPT.
I have done like game logic. I haven't even thought to ask it Sandbox because I don't think it would know
I've
Sandbox.
watched people on YouTube make like games in Unity with it, or attempt to. They don't. They can never quite get it to right work.
Yeah, I was gonna say it blows my mind what it can do with code. But you need to know what you're so it's not like as simple as just plug and play really.
Yeah.
Um I think it's good for people's jobs anyways. Um
One guy was watching. He's like, here's a great way to make money with ChatGPT. He's like, I made this Chrome extension. So if you're a vegan, it changes all the words to vegan alternatives. And then I sell this extension on the Chrome marketplace. Oh fuck.
Hey, I'm
So yeah, ChatGPT use it for your vegan alternatives Chrome
yeah.
extension sales.
Whatever works.
But I use it a lot. I actually showed my boss at my other job ChatGPT the other day,
Yeah?
and I actually use it in my real job now. A day later, I'm using it.
Nice. That's legit.
I Yeah, I post jobs for a recruiting agency,
Okay.
and so I'm using it. I just put in like the basic job, and then I tell it to give me like an A/B of it, and it
Mhm.
just pops out two different versions, and boom, I got myself a unique job description.
Yeah, totally. I mean, I've used it to update my resume already, um, which I think is just wild. I used it to help write the business proposal for Metaskins. Like, if you just like feed it, like, so that it really like the way that I use it, anyways, is to come up with all the words for what I'm thinking. Like, and it's crazy how good it is. You can like then you can go and tweak yourself obviously like so you don't have to like sit there and like how to I don't know it's great. That's
It's
that's
crazy.
that's all I can say about it.
I've
Obvi-
only been playing with it for like a week. You ever
yeah.
watch Star Trek?
uh I feel like I definitely have watched Star Trek, but I feel like it was so long ago that I probably don't even remember anything about it. To be
It's
honest,
like
it
it
was
reminds me of like talking to the computer in Star Trek. It's like they always ask the computer when they have something like hard to research or something. They're like, "Computer, tell me this."
uh-huh.
Then the computer tells you in a nice womanly, like motherly voice. You know,
Yeah.
that's ChatGPT.
Yeah. No,
So
I mean that is, and I was listening to a podcast, I think, talking about it, and they were saying how like the scary the scary thing about AI is that AI won't have any. So like that's where like it get very fast.
Let's not get too philosophical. Let's take that stuff off screen. We'll save that for OG streams in the
Deal.
morning.
Deal. I wish I could tune into more of those.
Yeah, you have to get up for Coast to Coast AM with OG. You know that
Yes.
old radio show, Coast to Coast?
No.
Yeah,
I don't recognize it, but
it's okay. It's like it's like a not just paranormal, but it's like a paranormal radio show that's gone on for a long time, coast to coast in the middle of the night.
okay.
And I guess OG has some attachments to it too.
Really?
Yeah,
I'm here
it's
for
pretty
it.
cool.
I love OG. Um, I don't haunted stuff
But
scares
well,
me.
this Chat GPT, I do use AI to help me make stuff with my creativity. I use AI image generators to help me, um, get general concepts or get colors
Ah,
because I'm not really good at that stuff.
yeah,
I use lowspec.com, but I also use AI generated colors and just use a hex picker and grab it. So yeah, you should definitely use all those tools if you need help.
totally. I mean, it's crazy what all those different tools can do for you, and that you don't have to be a jack of all trades. Obviously, the more random skills you have, the better. But have to do everything. And if you can get a a computer to do it for you for free, typically, or I'm sure out there, but um, probably
Yeah, I just try to use free stuff.
eventually. But yeah, there's a lot of really good. That's that's a good advice. I
And then
never.
another advice for going on advice, we're
Yeah.
all over the fucking
Hey.
place.
Nah,
Another big
that's how this
advice
goes.
is
We're just chatting.
work with a partner.
Yeah. I
Like,
I I really enjoyed working with a partner. I've never worked with anybody, and it beneficial. Sure.
yeah.
Why do you bring that up?
Um, well, before the Ragnarok game jam, Half Dork was like, you guys should team up, use my chat as a way to team up. And I'm like, I don't know. I don't know what it is. It's hard. It's just hard to be a team, I guess. You gotta
Yeah.
give up creativity, you gotta meet with them, you gotta make decisions with them. I don't know.
Yeah.
But the Underground Master forced me to be a partner with Roxy. And you just have twice the more ability to think and get things done. Like we work so well together because I'm like you know there's a nail and I have a hammer type personality where it's just like let's just fucking get it done from
Yeah.
top to bottom.
Yeah.
And Roxy is more like I don't know if that like really works with what we're trying to do and the
Yeah. Yeah.
creativity type.
Yeah. No. I feel
So it
that.
works well together when you have people that accomplish different things, yin to yang, and
Yeah, I think
uh,
like a
especially at
multiplier.
least two in this because there's a game maker and Vox Edit. There's two softwares to make games, and you have to use both of them to compete well.
Yeah. That sometimes a lot of times one or the other is some expertise. And the other one they're just efficient in
Yeah,
if that it really depends. Some people just go all in on one. But yeah, it is it is a need to be able to do both. So up a lot of times is a great way to go. It's tough though.
because also, and then you're also going against other teams, so
Yeah.
1 against 4 is a little unfair.
Yeah. Yeah. No.
It's
It's
just a little unfair.
yeah, is there a rule around how big a team can be? I don't even
Yeah,
know.
4.
4? 4.
Yeah, teams can be 4.
That's 4 people building a game. It's like a smaller game. like especially versus one person. That's like a huge advantage. That's crazy, crazy big. Obviously it can be done. Don't be afraid. Build on your own. That's all you got. But yep, a lot better, I bet. Have you teamed
Get
up
on
with?
Half Dork Stream and ask for teams next game jam
Yeah,
if you want to work on a team.
that's a. I mean, Half Dark's always a
It's the most consistent thing, yeah. Or OG.
OG. Yep.
It's like the town square.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Are they back to back typically?
Yeah, OG's raids Half Dork every morning.
Yeah, I can't believe. I just I couldn't do it. I start getting tired about now.
Coast to
Um,
coast. That's because he probably has to list his coast to coast.
yep, exactly. Shakespeare, you're just waking up right now in the chat.
Oh, there he is. Every day I'm hustling.
Good night, Crafter and Fred and Fern. Good night, Pickaxe Master. Thanks for swinging by. And shout out to everyone in chat. Thanks for coming by. I was thinking about kind of wrapping up, and now you guys are forcing me to wrap up. Just kidding. No one forces me to do anything. But I think this has been a great chat. I definitely could chat forever about metaverse stuff. So we'll definitely have to have you back on again. Um, before we do wrap things up, do you
Mm.
want to let the people know where they can support you and how they can support you? And that's just following your Twitter or whatever. Obviously, that's all it is. But let them know where they can find you.
I'm most active at Fred and Ferd on Twitter. I would say that's where you can keep up to date with all my antics. And then shout out to at Roxy Miguel. Give that guy a follow.
Yeah. Shout out Roxy.
And then if you want to ride a hoverboard, you can go to page 14 and ride Hoverboard Hero. You'll recognize Roxy Miguel's ducks looking like a musical superstar.
Oh yeah.
Right there. So
It's at page 14. So probably further
they're
down.
gonna play it on the GMAE show whenever tomorrow. The next one.
Nice. Nice. That's awesome. I wish I could tune in. Do a good job. But yeah, go follow Fred and Ferd. It's been great chatting with you. I feel like sometimes I should move up earlier in the night so that I can go longer if we wanted to. Crafter's getting tired, so so that's usually when the conversation starts to go downhill, anyways. Because of me, not because of you. So, and I'm not saying that we were going downhill, but just to preemptively stop. Thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure you go follow and do all that fun stuff. And if you're catching the replay, hit that like button, subscribe, do all the fun stuff, and leave a comment both now in the Twitch chat and in the comments for YouTube if you have anyone that you want to see on the show, and or if it's you, let me know, because I'm really open to anyone that's doing anything metaverse. So thank you guys all for being here. Thank you, Fred and Ferd. Is that? I feel like we need to get to the bottom of that.
My name is Adam. I have said it several times.
I was gonna say, I feel like you probably said
you call me
it.
Adam. I RP is Fred.
Fred.
You
Okay.
can call me Fred or Ferd. Crypto calls me Ferdinand. So
Ferdinand.
whatever.
I was gonna say, I think there's
Kate
plenty.
calls me Triple F. So I think the proper thing to do is for you to come up with your own nickname for me and then use that.
Ooh. I'm gonna have to think on that because I feel like all of them are taken. Why triple F? Now I'm confused on that one. That one caught me.
Oh yeah, I know.
Maybe we don't.
Because we were doing is it you have a gripe against marbles, but you're okay with Racers Arcade, right?
I don't know what Racers Arcade is.
That's the one where like K
Is
always
that the one that K
plays,
does?
where
Yeah.
you hit boosts and stuff.
Yeah, that one's fun. I'll fuck around
Oh
with
yeah,
that
and
one.
the and the
Yeet.
and the old school version of that, the field was fucking OP. It was super powerful, and so I laid a field at a really good time, and everybody just bounced off it like a pinball. And so Fred and Ferd and Field, triple
Ah,
F.
that's what Triple F is.
Yeah,
Nice, nice. Fred and Fred and Fred and
Fred and Nam,
Fred and Nam.
Fred Adam,
What up, Huddle? By the way, I didn't see you in here. Hi, Huddle. Fred and Nan. Fred and
Fred
Nam.
Adam,
Fred Adam. Fred and yeah. Okay, now I got it. I was like,
Fradum.
Fradum, 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 Fradum. We're gonna go with Fradum. We found it. All right. Thank you
There we
guys
go.
so much for tuning in. Thank you for being here, Fradum. And and we will definitely have you back on the show at some point. And everyone that's watching next week, take it easy, y'all.